This is your foundation. How to successfully grow your wedding business. Weddings Made Simple.
Hi, I'm Daniel. Welcome to the Weddings Made Simple editing course. I've got Clay and Caleb with me here today to help me out with this. So Caleb is our course instructor for the film production class, so make sure to check that out. I have Clay here. He has been managing businesses in the wedding space for years. They both have a combined experience of I don't know how many years. They have lots of experience. But here at the outset of this editing course, let's voice a few questions that you're probably thinking. Why are we talking about philosophy? Aren't there enough film schools out there that focus solely on theory and they never get practical? These are fair challenges. Now, the reason we're starting off with philosophy is because, frankly, it sticks out like a sore thumb in your work when you haven't really thought much about what a wedding film actually is and what its purpose is and what its impact is meant to be. In fact, you've probably seen a few of these confusing, cringy, and awkward films for yourself. So here at the outset, I want to teach you three core principles. Understand the genre, engage emotion, and serve the couple. So firstly, let's talk about understanding the genre. We have to ask ourselves, what are wedding films? We can also ask ourselves, what are they not? And that's kind of hard to know these days because it seems like the boundary is being blurred to suit every filmmaker's fancy. What is the wedding film genre? Well, if I were to describe the wedding film genre in two words, I would say heightened reality. They're not fashion shoot montages, they're not MTV music videos, and they're not Hollywood films. They're still rooted firmly in reality. And the emotions they evoke are excitement, joy, and love. The vibe isn't supposed to be anything else. It's not supposed to be seductive or rebellious or somber or anything like that. Now, if this feels limiting to you, just remember that Orson Welles once famously said, "The absence of limitations is the enemy of art." The absence of limitations is the enemy of art. That's just how it is. Don't hate me for it. There's always a place for pushing the envelope, but to get there, you first have to master it, and you can't master something if there are no rules to it. Remember, nothing good in life ever comes easy or without boundaries. So understanding this principle will affect everything when we get to the editing room, from our music selection to our audio selections to our color grading.
You know, that's a great point. I think boundaries are an amazing thing, especially in the editing space, because you can only do so much on the wedding day, and I'm sure Caleb's going to get to that in a few minutes, but on the editing floor, you can manipulate, you can pull throttles, and I mean, you can completely change what happened on that day as an editor. So I think it's a great thing to put those boundaries in there and to set a standard, a framework really, that you can build upon. And so the wedding genre, I think, is really a unique genre. And to your point, there's nothing like it. There really isn't. I mean, you've got reality TV, which is the closest you could get, but that is the farthest thing away from the wedding film genre. There's nothing worse than watching a wedding video that looks like reality TV. I mean, seriously, there's absolutely nothing worse than feeling like you're about to watch the Kardashians walk out onto the screen. So we want to make sure that we are crafting films that stay within those boundaries. And your audience is going to love you for it. I mean, especially your clients, your bride and groom, they're going to really appreciate that, because when you're sticking with that heightened reality approach, your bride 40 years from now is gonna love their film still. I mean, there's nothing worse than watching those cheesy, like, motion graphics intros that pop up at the beginning of a wedding film. Nothing worse. It's like little flowers spinning on the screen and like the calligraphy. It's like, oh gosh, kill me now. No. So, yeah, you want to avoid that because that falls more onto that reality TV. I would expect that out of a reality TV show. But when it comes to the genre of the wedding film, like, you've got to maintain that.
You know, it's interesting you mentioned reality TV, because at weddings, we're constantly trying to fight that, because the nature of a wedding day, you're always behind, it seems, right? Even if you're not, because you know what you have to do, right? You know that you have all of these different things that have to be done, but you don't want to stage them to look fake, like reality TV. You want to get that emotion out. You want it to be real. You want it to be genuine. But the nature of a wedding is you have a very strict timeline, and you want to stick to that timeline. However, natural reactions, natural laughter doesn't just happen when you want it to. If you really, truly wanted to capture a natural moment for every single moment, you would have to stand in a corner and just wait for the laughter to begin. So you have to figure out a way to balance it. You don't want the reality TV feel, but you also want the true reality of what's going on. That's what's important. You want to get the love, the emotion, everything that the wedding day has to offer in a true sense. So how do you do that? One word that comes to mind is intent. Having intent means you understand what you're going in there to film, so you're not just filming things that don't matter, things that to you look beautiful but really just aren't going to be very continuous in the edit, right?
I never use those shots ever. So.
Yeah. And so you'll start to learn, when you're newer and you start filming all these, you'll get in the editing suite or give it over to your editor, and they won't be used, and you'll wonder why, and then you'll see it get used, and then you'll know why. And that will start to teach you slowly what it means to have intent. And another side of the intent would be how you film it for the editor, right? If you're gonna film an emotional scene, get up close, fill the frame with the emotional scene. If you feel like you're gonna miss out on some epic wide shots or some other shots that could really help the narrative, film that emotional scene. It's for the bride. They want to see the reaction. The bride wants to see what the groom looked like when he read her letter, and then restage those shots where she's just looking at the letter, where none of it's actually emotionally engaging, but you can cut to the real emotionally engaging scenes, so you get both of them.